Welcome to Widowed Too Soon. I am Michelle Bader, and I'm sitting here with my friend and co-host Mark Massaro. How are you doing today, Mark?
Doing well, and I'm exhausted. How are you?
I'm good. Why are you so exhausted?
Oh, I'm packing up a house by myself, and it is a lot
Yeah.
of work. But I've just been plugging away at it every day. I actually am excited to say that after one open house, I had multiple offers on my house, um, and it's been a huge blessing. So, there was actually a very interesting moment. Because in California, you have to disclose if somebody's died in the house in the past
Hmm.
3 years. So we had a really nice offer, and they backed out after we disclosed that Lacey died in the
Wow.
house. That was a little awkward.
That
Um,
is.
it was a little awkward. Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Other people didn't care, but just that one has like kind of
Huh.
stuck with me of like, oh, that's weird, but
Yeah.
whatever. Those weren't the people meant to buy my house.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's been pretty exciting. It's been moving along really quickly, and I've felt a lot of peace from God about it. But man, have
That's
I been
awesome.
busy. It is
Yeah.
like, and I'm a pretty minimal person, I like to
Yeah.
think, and I've been getting rid of time. I just every day for like 2 weeks, I was just gathering. I mean, I sold a lot of stuff, but I was just gathering huge piles of stuff, taking a photo of it, putting it on Facebook Marketplace and saying it's
Hmm.
free, but you have to take
Oh,
all of
wow.
it.
That's perfect. I
No
love
coming
that.
and picking through anything. You just
Yeah.
load it up and go, and you decide what you want later. And so, um, you know, I'd usually had this strategy where I'd put like something really nice in there and then just a bunch of whatever stuff.
That's
And people
perfect.
would just come for the one nice thing and take all my stuff. So I didn't have to get a dumpster, which is nice. Um, but
That is
it's worked.
awesome.
And
Pro tip.
actually it's
Yeah.
been a tremendous blessing because I'm not even kidding. Like, I feel like 70% of the people that showed up were believers and
Oh, wow.
prayed for me or laid
Oh, that's
hands on me and
awesome.
prayed. I made friends. Like, I have new
Nice.
Facebook friends that were people I met through, Facebook Marketplace and
That's so
OfferUp.
cool.
Yeah, really good people. And just that we've been able to bless each other. And, I won't get into the specifics of that, but just that we've been able to, do nice things for each other already. And this one really nice lady who bought some backyard furniture from me, but I told her I needed to hold on to it for a while because it looks good
Mhm.
in my backyard. So I need my house to get appraised first with that furniture back there.
Yeah.
But she's been real sweet, and every time I see her or talk to her, um, she's like, "Man, the Lord just has you on my heart and your kids so
Aw.
much, and I just want you to know that I'm really like praying for you guys, and I really feel like what you're doing is a good thing for your kids." And so it's been a really big blessing, things that I didn't expect. So even through all the stress of packing and doing all this stuff, it's been a huge blessing in many ways. But I'm still, we just started a 30-day escrow, and
Hmm.
I'm pretty much at the point where like I have most of the packed stuff. I have a huge pile in my garage, really neatly organized, all packed stuff,
Mm-hmm.
labeled, and
Nice.
but it's been keeping me busy. So
Yeah.
that is a
Wow.
super long answer to your question of why I am exhausted. And that's why I've been up and down the ladder in the attic, bringing stuff down, and I'm almost done. So,
So have you had grief in this process?
at first, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I was going through things, seeing what I wanted to get rid of, seeing what I wanted to keep, I found a lot of stuff that I didn't know Lacey had.
Oh.
Diaries from high school. And
Wow, how
whatever.
cool.
I not only was I her husband, but she's not with us anymore, so I felt fine reading them. And
Oh yeah,
I thought
I'd
it
be
was really cute,
excited.
like
Oh
reading about these boys that
my gosh, I love
he was
that.
cute, and I really enjoyed. He came over and talked to me, and we played ping pong, and
That's like a
um,
treasure. You just found a
it
treasure in
was,
your house. That's
yeah, for sure. So I
amazing.
kept that stuff, obviously, but
Oh yeah.
college papers and things that she had
Wow.
written, that I got to read her reports. And
That's so cool.
just really got to get to know her a little bit more in some ways. And it's like, no matter how much you think you know someone, you really aren't completely in their head, and
Right.
you can't cover every single topic out there. And
Right.
so it was really neat to like read her college papers and reports that she did, and her opinions on things, and just certain topics that would be so random that her and I would never really talk about them. But you know, like there was actually one college paper that I thought was absolutely beautiful that she wrote on what marriage should be. And this
Oh,
is, you know,
wow.
we were dating at the time, and she was just that, she had that much integrity that her paper that she wrote about what a wife should be was exactly the kind of wife that she was.
Oh, I
And,
love
you
it.
know, she just believed what she wrote. And she was just a woman of incredible integrity, incredibly high character. And so, yeah, so that caused me some grief because I was just like, man, I wish I would have got to tell her how, you know, brilliant I thought she was for writing this article and how cool I thought it was that she was actually, I mean, I did tell her this stuff, but just based
Right.
off of like, hey, I read this report you wrote in college, and I just want you to know that, like, I think it's really cool that you're exactly the wife who you said you wanted to be. And, you know, just things. So there was a little bit of grief. And then obviously, you know, you can't pull out a photo album without looking through it. And
Oh, yeah.
you know, I found photo albums from, you know, before we were together, and just got to see a lot of the adventures she went on. And
Right.
yeah, so, but no, I mean, I think ultimately though, there's so much excitement for me that I didn't realize how much difficulty it's brought me being in this house still.
Mm. Yep.
Until the thought has become very real of leaving this house. And then
Right.
all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is this has brought me a lot of grief staying here, you know, the things
Yes.
that I just don't share with people. And
Yep.
because it's dark, nobody wants to hear about the things deep and dark in my head, you know,
Right.
like the things that I've seen, like nobody wants to relive those things with me.
Right.
But I can't shake them. I can't shake what I've seen
Yep.
and felt. And, you know, but I'm not going to just randomly bring that up to someone like, oh, let me remind you of this really dark and horrible thing that happened, you know, like, so I'm stuck with the thoughts. I remember them. I remember what happened on that little part of my bedroom or whatever, you know, just things
Yes.
like that. So anyways, thanks for asking. Yes, it did bring me grief, but it has evolved into a genuine peace and excitement
Mm.
for a new beginning. So
That's
any of you
awesome.
listening, I would adore your prayers. Um, you know, it's a big decision to
Yeah.
move 2,000 miles away from everything, you know. So
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for you.
thank you. And how about you? What's been going on in your world?
Well, first I wanted to comment on that. As you know, and the listeners probably know, I moved last April into a new house, and that was huge because Luke, just like Lacey, passed away in our house, and I had flashbacks of his death and the hard things and all that
Mm,
all the time when I was there. And moving was one of the best things I did for my healing. And so I think it's awesome that you're going to do that. You know, I know not everyone is in the place where they can do that, but if it's something you're thinking of, you know, definitely pray about it because it is something that has helped me tremendously. Yeah, I have flashbacks once in a while about that, but it is not like it used to be where I was literally looking at where it happened. And
right.
so it's
I
going to be
relate to that so
so
much.
good for you to get out. And
That's
it just,
encouraging.
yeah, I think you're going to see that it's like, whoa, I don't think about it as much because you're not looking at it. And then I've said
Yeah.
this before, but it's like, I don't miss Luke as much here because he never lived in this house. I
Mhm.
missed him more at my other house because, like, okay, here's where this happened. We lived there for 17 years. You know, here's where we brought the
Yeah.
babies home. This is like, I posted a picture today. Here's where he carried me over the threshold when we got married. And like, I posted
Mm,
about how it was like hard to move. And it was the day I signed all the papers to sign everything over to the new owners. I cried. I sat in the parking lot and cried, but it was so good. You know, it was hard because you're like letting go of this part of your life and you may feel some grief when you drive away. Like I
mhm,
remember walking through crying the last time I was looking at everything and just like, this is where he died. This is the final place he was at and I'm leaving it. It was just kind
mhm.
of a weird feeling. So you'll
No, I totally
probably,
get that. I
yeah.
totally get that and relate to it. And it's something
Mm-hmm.
I see, like you said, it's everywhere in my house. And
Yeah.
like nobody, I don't really talk about that with anybody because, like I said, I don't want anybody to come down into the darkness with me. But yeah, it is something you're reminded of every single day and all the time. And you just can't help but walk past something and remember something that happened there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, anyways, yeah, we've been doing good except for COVID hit our family again. two
Oh
and a
my
half
goodness.
months after we had it last time. But the good thing is COVID rules have changed. It's not 10 days, it's 5 days, blah, 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 all these things. And actually Haley was a close contact and she was allowed to return to school, but because she was allowed to because she had it in the last 90 days, but she had a fever and everything. So we got her tested and she had it. So we didn't think you could get it again like that fast. So anyways, she has it, praying it, but she's almost past, like today's her last day of being
And how's she feeling?
pretty good. It was so different from last time. So we think it's the new variant because the first one we were all out for like 2 weeks. She had 1 day of a fever and then she's been pretty good. So
nice.
that was a little bit frustrating. She had to miss school and all that stuff, but not as bad as last time. So we're happy about that. We keep, I'm like, it's not like last time. Let's just be thankful we're not sick like last time. You're, 5 days instead of 10, like so much better. And the exciting thing is that I got to see Joel. So as you guys probably know, we have a long distance relationship. He lives in Louisiana. I live in Washington. So we are trying to see each other once a month. We have seen each other 3 times now, and we've been together 3 months. And he's going to be here. Yeah, I know, we're doing good. In 3 more weeks, he will be here. He'll be here on Valentine's Day. It'll be fun.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. Yes. Even though Luke always said Valentine's Day is a Hallmark holiday.
Yep.
I think I remember you saying that's how you felt too. Like it's just amazing.
Big time.
Joel told me that too. I'm like, but it's important to me. So
hey, if it's important to you, then it's important.
We're gonna celebrate it, but we just had this wonderful weekend of just all kinds of things. We got to ride in like a horse and buggy ride and go explore caves and go to the top of this restaurant that's kind of like the Space Needle. You sit in it and it goes around the whole city.
Oh, nice.
It was just a great time to just continue to get to know each other better, do fun things. We rode electric bikes. Like it was just like adventure the whole time, and that's what I want. And so it was absolutely amazing. So that's something really, really good that happened. And we're just navigating this new world for both of us. And I don't have a lot of grief. Like I feel like my grief now is more for my kids than it is for me, and just navigating a new relationship and all of it. It's good. But I want to get into the topic today.
The meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes. No sauce. I don't do sauces. I don't do condiments,
I know, that's
nothing
so
on
weird.
it, just plain.
So weird.
It is weird. I know. It's who I am. Okay. So
they're like, do you want teriyaki or ranch? I'm like, yes.
No.
I want to smother it with teriyaki and dip it in ranch.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't do condiments. No, thank you. I know.
What about Joel? Does Joel do condiments?
Oh yeah, he thinks it's weird that it's like, no, I don't do any.
Oh, that's funny.
No, I don't. So anyways, okay. Meat and potatoes.
Sorry, real quick. I remember when we first met, we were talking about this stuff. Obviously we didn't have our podcast yet, but you were telling me about all the stuff you don't like. And I'm like, so what do you eat?
Yes.
Anyways, I thought that was pretty funny. Obviously, there's a lot more you eat but I was just like, I don't get that. But yeah.
I know. But
you were telling me Luke was a big sauce guy too. He'd put ketchup on everything, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yes.
That's
and what's
funny.
Interesting is Joel is like super healthy and he has helped me. Like I actually ate a piece of, what was that called? It's a vegetable. Hold on. It starts with an A. What's that called? I'm not even
asparagus.
Kidding. No, it's like green.
Okay, asparagus is green, but it's green. It starts with an A.
What's
alfalfa sprout?
No, the stuff that Popeye ate. What's that called?
Oh, spinach.
No, that's
yeah, Popeye ate spinach.
Yeah, but that's not what this is. Oh my goodness, this is like a basic thing that I should know. I ate a piece of it, whatever it was. I'm just trying to think.
It doesn't start with an A, but eggplant.
No, and it was green. And I tried to buy some one day. Anyways, it's not kale. It's something else. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna come back to me in the middle.
Yeah, no, we're gonna think about this.
We are.
And
I actually ate it and I was like, it's not that bad.
It's pretty common.
Yes, very common.
And for sure it starts with an A.
No, not for sure.
Okay.
On that,
broccoli.
No, it's like, it looks like salad, but darker. Because he was telling me the darker the green, the better it is for you. Right. Yeah. So I ate a piece of that.
Romaine lettuce.
No.
It's very dark green. Not kale. Artichoke.
No, I should know this. You guys are going to be like, what? You don't know what that is? Hold on.
Joel,
Hold
what
on.
was that
I
food you had?
know.
What was that foreign food that I ate?
know. Anyways, he's getting me to eat healthier.
Anchovies?
which-
No, wait, that's fish.
Well, no, I'm
Sorry.
just gonna. It's like anchovies. That's
I
funny.
know. Sorry. I just,
Anyways, I don't know what the point of this was. Food.
he got you to step outside your bubble and eat some vegetables.
Yes. Okay. I'm looking at a picture of vegetables. I'm gonna find it. This is so bad. Okay, it's got to be one.
Pictures of vegetables. Oh my gosh. this is
If you're on
great.
YouTube, you can see.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. It's not that one. Maybe
Bok
it was
choy.
no. I think it was spinach. It was spinach. You're right.
Okay. Spinach is
spinach.
good.
It was spinach. It was.
I like
And the-
spinach. How
that
was it
doesn't-
prepared? Was it raw or did you like
No, he had it. It was on his plate.
cooked
It
in
had-
coconut oil?
It was some kind of oil and salt and pepper. I put salt on
Mm,
anything and it's good.
delicious.
It was spinach. Now that I'm looking at this, and
Okay.
not with an A. So you got it right. Popeye ate this.
Okay, so spinach is hilarious because you can put like a whole bag in a because that's how I do it too. I like cook it up in a frying pan. You put
Oh,
like a whole bag, and by the time you're done, it's like this little tiny pile.
really?
It's so weird. It shrinks down
Does it
like
have so much
nothing I've
water
ever
in it
seen.
or something?
Probably, yeah, that's what I would imagine. Why, or just maybe I don't know. But yeah, I'm like, really? That's all it made? But it's very dense, obviously, when you
Yeah.
cook it. But yeah, I love spinach. I love vegetables in general. There's a couple I don't like.
That's good you do.
I'm not a
'cause-
fan of eggplant. That's about all I can think of.
Yeah, I love cucumbers. I've been eating a lot of those.
Oh, yeah.
So that's good. The thing is,
Cucumbers
I
are a
don't.
fruit.
No, they're not.
Yep. Anything with seed is fruit.
No, I'm gonna look that up.
All right.
Alexa, see if she hears me. Too far away. Alexa, is a cucumber a fruit? Let's see if she hears me.
Wait for it.
Vegetables. Said vegetables.
No,
Yes.
cucumber's a fruit.
Let me ask
Anything,
Siri-
anything
Hey,
with
Siri, let's
seeds
do
is a
this.
fruit.
Listen, Siri. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Okay. Hey Siri. Is a cucumber a vegetable or a fruit?
It's they're both.
Is a cucumber, it's not working. Is a cucumber a vegetable or a fruit? I guess you're just looking it up. That works.
Botanical classification: cucumbers are a fruit.
No.
Anything that has at least one seed
It's a
is so.
cucumber.
Avocados are fruit. Tomato are fruit. Are you secretly asking your
Here's an
phone?
answer from
Listen.
healthline.com. Though many people think of cucumbers as vegetables, the scientific definition indicates that they're a type of fruit.
What? You win.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I was telling that to my daughter. I'm like, avocado is actually a fruit. Tomatoes are a fruit. So now she like goes around the grocery store pointing out all the fruits to me. So like zucchinis are technically fruit,
Wow.
but we think of fruit
Interesting.
as sweet, but that's
Right.
just whatever. I think it's the seed is what classifies it as
Now
a
I
fruit.
know. Good to know.
Yeah.
That was a good side note. You just
What
did,
about
so-
asparagus? You ever had asparagus?
I don't think so.
Okay, it's really good. I won't talk to you about the signature item with asparagus until after you
It
eat it.
makes you pee green or
It
something.
makes your pee smell.
or pee smell. I just knew there was something about that. Yeah, that
there's
sounds fun.
so many times where like I eat like a big salad or something, and I'm like, well, okay, that's
Ew.
probably too much for the air, whatever.
You
People
have
are
to
real.
finish it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm like, I'll like pee later. I'm like, I don't remember eating asparagus. It's
Wow.
not necessarily a stink, it's a distinct smell.
Okay. I'll look forward
Okay.
to that at some point. Anyways,
Sorry
let's
about
get-
that, viewers. That's a little TMI.
This
But
is
you know,
way
we're all adults here, and I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about.
exactly, except for those of us who don't even know what spinach is.
Yes,
So,
there are
anyways,
some of us.
he's a good influence. He's helping me eat
That's great.
healthier and what you put in your body and don't you want to be the healthy, all the stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been great. But let's get to
Being healthy, blah blah blah.
blah blah blah. It's great stuff. Okay, interacting and connecting with people after loss. Okay.
Mm.
So I think this is important because sometimes like after loss we can go into like we don't want to get out of the house. I remember that.
Mhm.
But we had kids so we kind of like had to do it, but like social events. I remember my first social event, like bigger social event. No, it couldn't have been my first one, but I remember going to a bigger social event. It was like a 3rd of July party, not 4th of July. And just being around all these people, and it was difficult, and people didn't know whether they should say something or not say something to me. And it was kind of a hard time. Like and we've been through this before. I personally would rather somebody say something to me
Mhm.
instead of just like ignore this big thing that happened to me. But what do you think about interacting and connecting with people after loss? What are your thoughts?
So, as we all know, people are different around you most times.
Mhm.
And you have to expect that and anticipate that. But what I find helps normalize things a lot is smiling a lot. And
Smiling's my favorite. What's that from?
I don't
just like to,
know.
yes, you do. I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite. Maybe you don't know this movie. We've never talked about this one. It happens at Christmas.
Is it Elf?
Yes, good job.
Oh, okay.
Okay, anyways, go ahead. Didn't mean
I don't remember that specific part, but I do love that movie. So anyways, yeah, I think, just start by like smiling at people, and it kind of eases their guard, eases the awkwardness for them. And because people don't know whether you want to talk about it or not talk about it is
Yes.
probably one of the main things that I've noticed. And it is easiest when people are just willing to talk about it. I've spoken with people that some people really close to me that lost their son, and for someone else close to me, her brother. And the mom and dad were telling me that like one of the hardest things is that like people don't bring up his name, people don't talk about
Right.
him. And because and then you'll get a lot of people saying things like, oh, I didn't know if you wanted to, I didn't want to bring it up. And the most common thing I say is like, I didn't forget. You're not like
Exactly.
reminding me, but I think so, but we're talking from this side of it, because
Yeah.
we still want to have relationships with people. We still want to go out and talk to people and be social and interactive, most of us,
Yeah.
And so I'd say just like smiling at people is probably a good, makes you approachable.
Mhm.
I think walking around smiling, holding your head high, you could still be feeling pain inside and still hold your head high.
Mhm.
But I think that's really important, is to just stand tall. Well, I'm 5'5". I can't stand very tall. But
Hey.
I stand up on my stool, and I appear bigger than I am. But no, but I walk with my head held high because like I'm a child of God, and that's
Uh-huh.
at the forefront of my mind all the time. And I smile at people, I say hello to people. And I think that sort of eases people and drops their guard a little bit, because I've had people like totally walk the other way to avoid
Ugh,
me, and it was super
that's
obvious. And it
really
was like,
awful.
oh, okay, that was really weird. Like, really, like, I mean, you could just say hi,
Yeah.
but it's not, because what I've learned is to not take it personally. It's more of something they're struggling with. They don't know what to say to me. They don't know how to
Mhm.
face me. And so I've seen them totally go out of their way to like walk around to not interact with me.
Right.
But I'd say just like make yourself approachable is probably a good first step. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely this smiling, and maybe you have to in the beginning force yourself to go to some kind of social event. But what I found is that I would always feel better after. Like if I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't really want to go, but then I go, and then I'm able to just forget about my stuff for a little bit,
Mhm.
and just be in someone else's world. So that's good. Um, if you're in a situation like you're meeting new people, or you don't know what to say, you haven't been out in a while, you don't know what to do. I learned this a long time ago. If you remember the acronym FLOP, FLOP, if you remember this, every conversation will flow. I got a little secret for you. So F stands for family. So you ask someone, okay, let's just do a little example. You ask them. So I'm like, Mark, tell me about your family. Like, do you have kids, et cetera, et cetera. So then that would take up several minutes. And then usually like you get stuck on one of these because they talk forever, and that's fine. Like what you're trying to do during this time period is connect with them. You want to be able
Mhm.
to say, oh, I have kids the same age, or so you're going through this list trying to find a place to connect with them. The next thing is L, like, oh, where do you live? Like, what part of town are you in? You're trying to find, oh yeah, I used to live over there. Or I know someone who lives over there, whatever. And then the next thing is O is for occupation, like, oh, what do you do for work? Oh, I used to do that same thing, or I know somebody who does that same thing, or tell me more about that thing. And the point is, you want to be the most interested person, not interesting. Okay, let me say that
That's
again.
good.
Yeah, interested, not interesting. You know, the people who just talk about themselves, blah, 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 blah. Look what I did. Or you know, the people that interrupt you, or you know, the whole time you're talking to them, they just want to say something about themselves. They
Mhm.
want to one up you or like
Mhm.
whatever. You don't want to be that person. You just want to be the person who's interested. And you know what? If you're a new widow and this is overwhelming, don't worry about it. This is just for when you feel ready to get out there. Because when you get out there, you're going to feel better. And, you know,
Yes.
like I said, you might have to force yourself. P is passions, like which means
Oh, I thought it was going to be PIN number with all the
PIN number.
lead. Well,
Tell
you
me
know,
your
you
PIN
wanted to know their
number.
family and where they live and their
Oh, that
occupation.
sound kind
I
of
thought
like
next was like,
creepy.
what's your PIN
Now,
number?
what's your PIN number? That's awesome. I never thought of that. So yeah, that would be funny. P is passions, like, but you don't usually say, what are you passionate about? I mean, you could, but
Mhm.
usually I say, like, what kind of hobbies? Like, what do you like to do for fun?
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I like to run, I like to dance, like blah, 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 blah. Me too. And you're trying to connect with them. And if you remember that acronym FLOP, your conversations will not be a flop. So just a little something I learned along the way
That's really good.
that's helped me, to, help keep conversations flowing.
Yeah. You have to pique somebody's interest.
Yes.
And so, it's like, because you're trying to pique someone's interest. That is the key to great conversation. And, along the lines of what you said, that people will think you're an excellent conversationalist if you are a good listener.
True that.
And so, these are just like strategies to like, make new friends or just carry on conversations and stuff like that. But if you pique someone's interest, the conversation is just going to take off. So just as like an example, if somebody has some really nice shoes on or something, and you compliment their shoes, they're probably going to want to talk about their shoes or whatever, and things like that. And so you're just kind of trying to find something to pique the conversation or pique their interest rather. And those are all really good strategies that you mentioned. I like that, the FLOP acronym. That's really good. And it's but being genuinely interested in someone else is going to carry a lot of weight as far as keeping a conversation going and stuff like that. But sometimes it can be hard if you're not in that place because they're feeling awkward, you're feeling awkward. So you can just kind of use these as tools to reflect back on, to kind of break up if there's any awkward silence. And you and I both, we've talked about this. We don't have any problem talking.
Really? That's the long podcast sometimes.
Yes. Because we get interested in something and, we just want to talk about it. And that's how it works, right? But these are all good strategies for, if you're ready to get back out into the social world and, maybe meet new people or whatever. And maybe you're a little introverted, or maybe you've just kind of lost interest. So these are good tools to kind of reflect back on and resort to if you kind of find yourself at a stalemate in a conversation or something.
Yes. Yeah. And people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. That's a really important thing I learned. Can you guys tell we have a little bit of sales background between us?
You got to close that deal. Let me tell you about the ABC. Always be closing.
I learned, here's mine. Bam Fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. Always have an that's not what we're talking about here, but while we're getting into what we've learned.
A brand new car. Sorry. Okay.
Okay. Back to what we're talking about. But, we learned people skills and we know how to talk to people from our experiences that we've had. And so I just kind of wanted to go into like, okay, well, maybe I feel ready, but like, what do you mean? Like, what kind of social events, that kind of thing? How do I find them? So first of all, your friends, like maybe you start with inviting people to your house instead of going out. You start with 2 or 3 friends, small, when you want to come over or whatever, and just kind of like do it, small. And then if you go to church, look in the bulletin, or that's kind of old school, online. And we do have bulletin in our church. And find out what kind of events might be going on. See if there's something you want to go to. Like my new church, so I'm going to a new church. I'm so excited. I haven't told you this, but I'm going to start going to like a home group on
Oh, nice.
Monday night. So they start like it's the new semester or whatever. So that's going to be awesome. And it's like a women's only group because I didn't really want to go to a couples group. Like I know I could have, but I felt like I don't really want to, that's
Mhm.
kind of, I'm on a weird stage. But anyways, church, the point is church will have things you could plug into. I've also looked into the single moms group, but I don't really feel like I need that. But there's like different places that you can plug in to be social. There's also meetup.com. If you're like, I don't have a church. I don't know, like I want to get out and do things. Meetup.com. You could probably even look up widows. Like I used to use this a lot in business to, excuse me, find like different groups to meet with. So you could even type in widow groups on meetup.com. You can go to Facebook and find widow groups. Like,
What? I didn't know
What?
any of this.
we wouldn't be here if we
We
hadn't
didn't
done
meet
this.
on meetup.com.
We met on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook. Oh, so is meetup through Facebook?
No, I'm on a different subject now. I moved on. I said
Oh.
meetup, church, Facebook.
Sorry. Okay. I thought that was one thing you were incorporating. Okay.
Keep
Sorry.
up with the
I was just spacing
program.
out thinking about meetup.com. I'm like, wait, so I could just find someone to watch a movie with? No, I
Well,
have people. I'm just kidding. But
Yeah, but you can. I mean, I don't know if it's watch a movie.
that's
but
pretty
you-
cool.
I used to use it all the time. Look it up, people. It's kind of interesting. Meetup.com. There's meetups going on all the time, and you can get on like alerts. So you get alerted when new meetups come, and it's kind of
Find
a fun
some
place.
skateboarder friends.
You could. I saw that video again. That was amazing. You did a little, what do you call it? A little flip or a little
360 kickflip.
that thing.
Yeah.
Check it out. It was pretty awesome.
MarkMassaro.com on Facebook. I'm doing tricks.
Doing tricks. Anyways, okay. Facebook.
Yes.
What I was going
Mhm.
to say, there are groups like the one that we met in where it's not local, but you can also find local people within that. Or like I'm on some Washington widows groups, and within that, then they do it by city, and then they do it events. So, or start one. I started a widows group here. We did one event. I need to
Nice.
do some more, but those are some ideas of like things that you could go to, or you probably already have your friends. And even like if you're not in a place where you feel like you could host it, just ask one of your can I talk? Ask one of your friends to organize something for you. I had to do that in the beginning because I was the glue with my friends. I'm the one who always starts things. And for a while I had to say, I need you guys to do it. I can't do it. And they did, someone else took over organizing things. And so just reach out. Again, people want to help. They don't know what to do. So if you're wanting to get together with your friends, but you don't have the energy to think about where and when and how, ask a friend to do it for you. Do you have any other ideas about like where to go or anything on this topic?
Well, no, I agree with you about the church, and actually, you were saying it for yourself, but home groups. I found some of my best friends from church through starting to go to a home group, because a home group, we got to be friends with about 20 people or so, and then we saw them every week for months and months while we were going through the book of Philippians, I believe it was. Met a lot of great friends. And then through that, I got invited on a men's retreat, and I got to go on a men's retreat. And then I came back to church and I was like, man, I feel like I know everybody here. And so, getting involved, I think, is a good thing. But, you could go volunteer somewhere. There's all kinds of
that's a great idea.
places like that need volunteers and stuff like that. And it's good social interaction. And like Michelle mentioned earlier, that you always, even though you might not want to do it, and this is totally me, I don't want to do social things often, but when I do, I'm always happy that I did.
Wait, you don't want to?
I don't
Yeah, but
sometimes. I
I've seen
don't.
you in social situations. You're very good.
I am when I get there, but I have a
Hmm.
social anxiety that I don't
Oh,
understand.
that's right. You've told me that. Yeah.
Whenever there's, and it doesn't matter who it's with or how comfortable I am with the people. And I don't know what it is. I don't know where it stems from, but I do get an anxiety before I go to something.
Hmm.
And then when I'm there, it's like completely gone. And I'm just interacting with everybody, and it's great.
Yeah.
I'm having a wonderful time. But for some reason, before the event, I have like this social anxiety, and it's gotten, Lacey helped me with it a lot.
Yeah.
She was very patient with it and would like talk me through it or whatever. But so I still feel it, but I'm still able to utilize a lot of the tools that she taught me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say those are really good. Or if you're, looking for some kind of part-time job, if you can, because you're bound to meet people at a job
Yeah.
site. Just there's a lot of different things you can do. But I'm also like, I'll meet people at the grocery store, I'll meet
Yeah.
people at the dog park. Like, I just start talking to people, and before I know it, but I'll tell you, like, I think one of the best skills I have as far as interacting with people is I genuinely want to listen
Yes.
to them and take advice from people. And, people love that. Also a really good way is like, ask somebody for help with something. And it doesn't have to be like, hey, come help me paint my room or something. But if you yield to somebody, if somebody knows that they're the expert, for example, if you pull over and ask somebody for directions, I've never met anybody who's not super excited to give you directions. Like, it's so interesting. And I remember learning that a long time ago, that they're like, if you can make someone feel like they are needed, it really goes a long way. Like, so for example, if you pull over and you ask somebody like how to get somewhere, I've never in my life pulled over and asked somebody directions for somewhere and they weren't like, oh yeah, let me draw you a map, and they want to be the one in the know.
Yeah.
So I think those are, good ways to start talking to people. But the point I was getting at is, it doesn't have to be long conversations. You don't have to develop friendships through every conversation. I met this lady at the dog park the other day, and we chatted for a good hour and 20 minutes.
Whoa.
And then we went our own ways. And it's not like we, connected through Facebook or whatever, but we knew a lot about each other's lives by the time we left. And it's just, I looked back on it and I have a fond feeling over having a conversation with this lady. She was really nice. She had absolutely, it was a really interesting story. Her son was recently on Shark Tank.
Oh, nice.
And got a deal with Damien from, I don't know if you've ever watched that show.
I love that show.
Yeah,
Luke and I used to watch
so
it a lot.
She was telling me all about it. And so I went home and I watched the episode. I found it on YouTube.
Is it still on? Like, are they still making episodes, or it was a while ago?
Well, it sounds like he's still in the I think it's still on, because it sounds like he's still in, I don't know when the episode aired, but he's still in the process. And she was like, his business was struggling. He was living in an RV on their property, the mom. And then, so hearing him talk about it to the sharks was pretty interesting, because I already knew the whole story from his mom. Cool. But she said that like literally like right after the episode aired, that he had like $250,000 in sales, like overnight.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. But anyways, we didn't exchange numbers. We didn't become Facebook friends, but those kinds of things help you feel better about yourself, like being a part of society, and being able to bless someone else by, telling them you're going to pray for them. And man, when you've been just this light to them, and then they find out, through a conversation, it happens a lot naturally. I'd say be ready to talk about it though, because it's going to come up. And because it does, it comes up naturally. I plan on not telling people that I'm widowed. I don't plan on telling people, but then they're like, for example, this one lady the other day, she's like, well, what does your wife think about you getting rid of all of her kitchen stuff? Right. And I was like, well, I don't think she really cares. Like, she's in heaven, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And so we'd like chat about it a little bit. Yeah, so it's just like these conversations you have with people, I guess is the point, is that like these things help fill your day, they help bless you. And so, yeah, telling this woman that, it comes up naturally. And so just expect that it's going to come up, like, no matter how much you decide you're not going to talk about it. If you are, if that's where you are, because sometimes I don't want to talk about it. I just want to feel normal, and I don't want to, I'm sure a lot of people relate to this and a lot of people might not, but like, you kind of get to a point where like, you kind of don't want the sympathy anymore, right? Like, to a degree, it's like, I kind of just want to like, I appreciate your condolences, but like, I just want to have a normal conversation and, not be like all of a sudden where they're like, oh, and like the whole dynamic of the conversation shifts. And so, but just know that it's going to come up. And so in that situation, she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, what did she pass
Right.
from? I'm like, thank you. She passed from cancer. It was about 1.5 years ago. She's a wonderful woman. But my kids and I are blessed. We're doing fine. We miss her every day, but we're pressing forward. And then I kind of bring the conversation back to a sense of normalcy. And so those are just things that you should know, that like in having these conversations with strangers, which is what I try to do everywhere I go, because I enjoy it.
That's awesome.
But by the way, I am excited to live in a place where nobody knows.
Yeah.
I've met
That's gonna
people
be
where they're
cool.
like, oh, wait a minute. We were in your parade for your son. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And it's just like, it's not a good thing. I mean, it's great that people care. I'm not saying that,
Right.
but like sometimes I'm not saying this in a good way, but it's like, I'm well known in this area. A lot of people know what happened. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to move to a place where not a lot of people know. And
Yeah.
I get to control the narrative. And it's like, I think I've said it on here before, but like there's been times where there was a time when I went into the grocery store and I was checking out with my kids, and this lady's like, oh, are you the guy that lost your wife to cancer? I'm like, yeah. And here's the milk, like, can you scan the milk, please?
Yeah,
But
that's
so it's
hard.
really sweet. People care. It's not like, they're just trying to get into my business or whatever. But so anyways, I was just trying to say that, like, anticipate that it's going to come up, but just be ready to control it, I guess, is the best way to say. It's kind of like when I used to serve tables. I worked for a restaurant called Claim Jumper. A lot of you probably have heard of it, maybe not.
Shout out.
It's
Shout
very
out to Flame
popular on the
Jumpers.
West Coast.
Yeah.
But I worked for that company, and one of the things you learn very quickly, or anybody waiting tables, is that you need to control the narrative. You can't let the table start talking over you. I've trained people before where they're taking orders and they're still stuck on the first order when the second person starts ordering, and then the third person starts ordering, and they would come to me and they're like, I didn't get down most of it. And I'm like, well, okay, no problem, I'll handle it. But here's what you need to tell them, like, you're the director. You need to tell them, hold on, I didn't get the first order. Sir, did you want that? How did you want that prepared, or whatever, like, you need to control the narrative there, or you're going to get steamrolled,
Yeah.
And so it's very similar in carrying on conversation with people, is that, you need to somewhat be in control of the narrative, and be good listeners and things like that. But what about you? Anything else on this topic?
Yeah, I wanted to add that when you're going out and about meeting people or seeing people again, give them grace. If you want to go back to ridiculous things people say in one of our episodes, or just experience, people say ridiculous things, and try to give them grace, like they're trying. Like, I appreciate, even if it's like ridiculous, at least they tried. Like, they tried to say something. It's better than, to me, like, if I'm just back out there and them not saying it all. So just give people grace. They don't know what to say.
For sure.
Yeah, unless they've been in this situation, they have no idea what to say to you. And they might say something ridiculous, but give them the benefit of the doubt that they're trying. And so I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Grace is incredibly important. That you have to go into a situation being prepared to give people grace, and knowing that what they might say to you is it's going to come across insensitive. It doesn't mean that it is at all. And Michelle and I are, some of you are further out than us. Some of you we're a lot further out, and things do change. You get to a position where it doesn't, like, shatter your heart to, like, have it even be brought up or whatever.
Right.
But you just have to be prepared that somebody's going to say something where you're kind of taken back by it. And just be ready to be like, just in your heart, like, they're trying to talk to me through this and they're not ignoring me. They're trying, like Michelle was saying. I think that's great advice.
Yeah. And I was thinking about, if you're a new widow and this all seems so daunting and big, like baby steps, like something small, make it a goal, like once a week or once a month or whatever, to get out and do something social. That doesn't mean taking your kids to the park. I mean, well, I guess you were social there. I meant like just something with your kids doesn't mean, I'm like talking about outside of your family and your house.
Mhm, mhm.
Get out, talk to somebody else, because it's easy to just kind of go inward, especially from what I hear from widows that don't have kids, and they like maybe they're retired and they don't have kids. Like it's hard to
Yeah.
then, like, you don't have a job you're going to, you don't have your kids, like to stay motivated to want to leave your house. And so just want to encourage you to take little baby steps and just see how you feel. Make it a goal. I'm going to go out, I'm going to go to this, or just, the next social thing you're invited to, say yes and see what happens. Because Satan wants to isolate us.
Mhm.
It's like a tactic that he uses to get us alone. But God made us to thrive in community. And so that's why I want to encourage you, even if it seems hard, I want to encourage you to get out there around people who love you and positive people. There's so much negative in the world. Like, be around people that are positive and that you walk away feeling better. And so I just want to encourage you to take some of those steps, because we don't want you isolated. Get out there. And I think sometimes people think, I'm not isolated, like I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, blah, blah, blah. Like, those are for virtual friends. You need your actual in-person friends, or people that you talk to one-on-one outside of a social media place. So I
Yeah.
want to encourage you to do that. Find someone else. Like Mark and I found each other pretty like around 6 months somewhere. We were a little bit different places, like early. Now I look at him like that was early in our journey, and we found someone who gets it, and that was
Mhm.
so amazing, and I know helped both of us along this journey. And so look for another person, you could start out as like we start out virtual, and find somebody who you can really relate to and talk to, and start talking to them and say, hey, do you want to be like widow? I don't know what you say. I mean, we didn't say anything, but like somebody that it's like you get it, like
Widow homies.
Widow homies. Yeah, widow homie. We never called it that before, but that's a good name. Widow homies. Rolling with my widow homies. That was pretty good, right?
That was a stretch, but I like that.
Had to add widow into that.
Yeah.
I did the whole motion from Clueless, if you guys can't see it, which most of you can't because it's on a podcast. We do have YouTube, by the way.
We have
Hey.
like 27 subscribers.
No,
on
it's
YouTube.
33. So
What?
Yeah, with the
blowing
program.
up. We are blowing up.
We're blowing up. But anyways,
Man,
widow homies. No, I was being serious. Like, the point is,
I know, but you know how I do.
I know. The point, and that's why people love it. You're always cracking jokes, and it's good times. Good times. Okay, back to my point. Find somebody who gets it. Like, I remember when we first started talking, it was like, there's somebody out there who gets it. Like, and it's probably going to be someone who their spouse passed away in a similar way,
Mhm.
like ours was cancer. You might find someone else who's COVID or suicide or diabetes, like whatever. Like, find somebody that you can relate to and be like, whoa, and get this, so that's another little baby step you can take.
Hugely beneficial.
It's really, really beneficial.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, with you and I, instead of hearing constantly, and God bless them, they meant well, but or they didn't do anything wrong, I should say, but constantly, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
Right.
I can only imagine, But
really
with you, it was like, I totally get it.
Yes.
I totally get it. And then you had comparable stories, and it was like, well, it was such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
To just be like, whoa, like she totally has been through the same thing on many levels, and it's super cool. Yeah.
Wait, I thought of a word. Instead of widow homies, it's wid homies. Yeah.
Rolling with homies.
With homies. It works.
Yeah, it's such a better flow.
It is. Okay.
Super important. That was super important. We
I had to interrupt you to tell you I got a word because I was gonna forget it. Okay, go ahead. Back to
I'm just picturing Clueless now because I'm keeping it real. I don't know if you remember that. Remember that when he's bicking his head, and his girlfriend walks in and he's all, because I'm keeping it real. Yeah. And she's like, I'm gonna call your mom.
Love that part. It's funny with homie.
Yeah. By the way, totally random, but one of my best buds, this guy Chris, he wanted me to tell you that it is a beanie.
What, Chris? No, it's not. The
He said, tell
stocking cap.
Michelle it's a beanie. And he said, and what the heck, a toboggan? What's
No,
a
I didn't-
toboggan? The toboggan
didn't-
is the thing you slide down the hill on.
I didn't
I
say
know, but
toboggan.
No, remember I was
stocking
telling you
cap.
that I was telling you in Tennessee, that's what they called
Oh,
it.
that's, I'm like.
He
I
was
didn't
just
say that
also
one.
commenting on that,
Oh,
just
yeah, it
saying,
wasn't just
he said,
me.
tell Michelle it's a beanie. And
No,
by the way,
Chris.
what the heck is a toboggan?
It's a
He's a good
stocking
man.
cap.
He's a good friend. He's a really good dude.
Yeah, well,
But you know, and he's right. It's a beanie.
okay. Depends on where you live.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're gonna
What
know
is
I'm
it?
from California.
Yeah. They're like, what? A beanie?
Yeah,
Like-
I know. I was shocked to find out that people didn't know what a beanie was. I'm like, oh my gosh, they really call this different things other places.
Yes, they do.
So
They
weird.
do. Anyways, okay, I think we're good unless you've had anything else on this subject.
Not really super, but just I was just also going to add that a good way to start conversation with somebody if you struggle with that, because I know
Yeah.
you know you have
We
the
didn't talk about
flop,
that. Yeah, we didn't talk
the
about before
flop
that.
when you
Yeah, yeah.
start the conversation. But what I find is really easy way to start conversation with people. Obviously, start with hello. You had me at hello.
Hello, you know, Adele. Hello.
Yeah, so we got a little Jerry Maguire reference and
Oh, yeah, I
Adele.
heard it. Little Adele.
I had someone reach out to me and tell me that she gets all of my references, which was awesome.
Nice.
It was a cool message. But
I get 'em
no, I was just
too.
gonna say that. So, you know, obviously just saying hi and smiling, but complimenting somebody, find something you genuinely want to compliment them on. Like, hey, wow, that's a cool car. How do you like it?
Mhm.
You know, or whatever. Guys to girls, you have to kind of be careful with that
Yeah.
because it's gonna come
Be
across
"Are
like
you
you're hitting on
me?"
them.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, what I used to, because you know, when you're trying to network yourself, when you're in sales,
Mhm.
you know, you're trying to meet people to increase your base of people that you
Right.
know, right? So what I would use is if I was talking to a girl, I would compliment her on something, but I would follow it up with something that, like, I think, you know, for example, wow, those are really cool looking shoes. And she's like, oh, okay, you know. I think my girlfriend would really like something like that. Where did you get them?
Mhm.
Then you've started the conversation and
Yeah.
you've helped her put her guard down, that, you know, because you brought up your
Well,
girlfriend.
what if you don't have a girlfriend?
I know. I'm just, yeah. I'm just saying, like, you could carry the
Yes.
skill over. So, for example, if a guy was talking to a girl and he said, like, hey, wow, I really like your car. That's cool. I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like,
I got it.
you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you
Yes.
can, I guess, whatever. We're single now. And so it's like, well,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Not you,
Yes.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're in
I
this
do.
world now.
Yeah.
And so it's, you know, it is different. You have to, I guess, just be conscious if you're a guy talking to a girl that it doesn't come across like you're hitting on them. But
Mhm.
I do just fine talking to girls. Like, I don't come across like a creep, you know?
Are you sure?
At least I don't think so.
Has
Like,
anyone actually
"Hey,
told you
ladies."
that you don't come across as a creep?
No, but they do carry on the conversation
Oh,
with me, and I
okay.
get offered to be Facebook friends
Oh,
many
isn't that
times.
sweet? That's good.
Actually, this girl that came to buy some stuff from me, we're now friends on Facebook now,
Look at
which is
that.
cool. But we talked for a long time. She came to buy some chairs from me in my front yard that I
Love
had
it.
for sale, and we ended up talking for like 45 minutes, and she was nice. And then we became Facebook friends, and we enjoyed having conversation with each other. But so yeah, I don't think I come across like a creep.
Probably not if she decided to be your Facebook
Because
friend,
I
so-
creep. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. We sound good. We need a band.
I should have
We
gone
need
with the
to sing
Radiohead
band.
version. Cause I'm a creep.
Creep.
I'm
I'm a
a
loser.
weirdo.
I think it's loser.
Nope.
You're probably right. You usually are.
Because a cucumber's a fruit.
Okay. You're right. You're usually right about that.
I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure those are the lyrics.
Um,
I'll wait for somebody to Facebook message me and I'll forward
Yeah.
it to you.
Okay. One more thing on this
Yep.
topic. Another thing that I learned is called the feel, felt, found approach. Do you know this one?
Feel, felt,
Felt,
found.
found. Yeah,
No,
it
I've
works
never
in
heard that.
anything. It works in marriage. It works in everything. So if somebody says something like, yeah, it's been all right. I don't. Okay. Tell me something. Okay, wait, that's not gonna make sense. Anything. How you-
Blueberries.
no, tell me how you feel about something. How do you feel but like a negative thing? Like how do you feel about dancing? Would you
Oh
like to-
gosh, I despise dancing.
You know
Dancing
what?
is horrible.
Okay, but I can't, okay, pretend I understand that. I understand, you say, I understand how you feel. I felt that way too. But what I
Mm.
found was it's really fun when you just let yourself go and you don't worry about anybody watching you. So you need to just
You know
dance.
what? Maybe I will just go out and
See, I
dance.
kind of convinced you, right? The point
Yeah,
is, it didn't work as well as like
I get what you're saying though.
it's because you're relating to them again. And but let's
Yeah.
see if you really mean it. Like I couldn't really say that because I've never hated dancing. But if you're like, you know what, I don't really like leaving the house since
I don't like condiments.
okay, I understand how you feel. I felt
I
that
still
way
feel that
too.
way.
What I found is I don't really like them still. No, but okay, let's do a serious one. You're like, I'm really like, I don't like to leave the house. Like it's harder since
Mhm.
Luke died, whatever. And then, or you say Lacey, and I would say, I understand how you feel. I felt that way too. But what I found is like once I'm out of the house and with people, like I really enjoy it and I feel better about it.
That's good.
Isn't
I
that a
like
good?
that.
You can
Yeah,
use
and
it
that's a
in
great application of it.
everything. Yes. And so my point is when you're, going out and interacting with people, they say something and you really can relate. Use the feel felt found. Hey, we've got all kinds of acronyms and
Yeah.
little sayings.
We should be
awesome.
charging y'all for this.
should.
Just kidding.
Seriously. Feel felt
Oh,
found.
man.
Remember that when you're remember flop, feel felt found. I feel like you said something with an acronym, did you? I don't know.
No,
No. Okay. Anyways,
not that I can think of.
I don't remember. Let's
Oh,
wrap
yeah,
it
I
on up.
did.
What did you say?
ABC, always be closing.
Yes. And I said bam fam, book a meeting from a meeting. So there you go, peeps.
This is valuable information.
We also introduced the term widhomie, which I think I'm going to start using because I
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of love that.
I think we should trademark that. Yeah.
Yeah, like we should, because you said widow homie and then I said wid homie, so we both own that, and we should trademark that.
But my name is Mark, and if we're trademarking it, I kind of already have seniority.
Funny.
Your name's not trade.
Oh my gosh, we're trade Michelling it. That works too, right?
It does work.
Trademarking,
Yes.
Michelling.
Yes.
Anyways.
Michelling. We're Michelling this idea.
We're gonna.
It sounds like you're getting rid of it for some reason. Oh, that's a terrible idea. I'm Michelling it right now.
That sounds bad. My name means getting rid of. I don't like that.
Well, I think I'm applying, or I think I'm relating it to like shelving an idea.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because I was about to say, I don't know if you're my wid homie anymore because you just said Michelling means getting rid of. Like that's interchangeable. Like I need to go Michelle the garbage because it's out of my house.
Oh, that's good.
Right.
Okay, I'll stop. I won't say that anymore,
wait,
but that
homie.
is really funny.
It was okay. Good times. Good times. Let's wrap it on up. Do you want to close this out in prayer?
Yes, I
Okay.
do. I just need
Bring it
to
down. I know. Let's get back
collect
more
myself a little
serious.
bit.
But you know what? God has
That
a
was
sense
funny.
of humor. He has a sense of humor. I think that he really
Who?
does. God, Jesus.
Oh yeah,
our
big time. I
Lord.
thought you said John. Anyway,
You're
yes.
like, who's?
I'm like, who's John?
You didn't know? Oh,
So
God.
yes, and it's funny because John is like a generic term for a man, right?
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Never mind. It's something else. I just remembered what it was. Moving forward. Yes. So
I said
Any
God
loser.
has a sense of humor.
God has a yes. That's what we're
God.
talking. Yes, he does. He absolutely does.
So
There's no way he could not.
right.
I can't think of any specific examples right now.
Mhm.
Maybe my height. He might have found that kind of funny. So I want to make him extra short.
I have to tell
think
you
that'd be
something
funny.
though. So Joel and I went to this wax museum, and Ben Stiller is like your height. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I got a video. I'll show you.
I think Tom Cruise is really short too.
Yeah. So be proud. You're hanging with the best.
well, you probably haven't heard of him because you're not. Well, you were in California for a while. Did you ever hear of the attorney Larry Parker? Larry H.
Nope.
Parker, I'll fight for you. No.
No.
Okay, so he had commercials all over TV as I was growing up, and going back to when I worked at Claim Jumper, he actually came in.
Oh, cool.
And he is super short, and it's weird because if you look at his commercials, like he must be standing on like a soapbox or something, because like he always looks like big compared to his colleagues, but he's
Mhm.
like way shorter than me, like really short.
Oh, wow. Okay. Ben Stiller's 5'7".
Oh,
look
what?
it
Bunch of giants. Okay, yeah. I think, how tall is Tom Cruise while you're looking at
It just says Tom is 1.7 m tall or
Meters?
5'7". He's 5'7" as well. Tom
Oh,
Cruise.
okay. Okay, then I shouldn't call him short because I'm shorter.
Hey, whatever.
So I thought I was 5'6" like forever. And I was. I was 5'5.5". And I had like a doctor measured me at that because he didn't believe I was 5'6". He's like, I don't know, stand up here. And so he was like trying to take everything away from me that he could. And he's like, you're like 5'5.5". So first of all, I was pretty upset that he wouldn't just let me be 5'6".
I know. Why does
like,
that
"Come on,
matter
dude.
to a doctor?
I'm already 5'6". Like, just let
Right.
me have it. He's like, you're 5'5.5". So my friend didn't believe me that I was 5'5.5".
Mhm.
And she measured me with a tape measure, and
Mhm.
I'm now 5'4.5". I measured myself and I came in at like just under 5'5". Hey,
Just-
and you know what? When
Just
you're
say
this
5'5".
short,
Just say.
eighths of an inch matter. So
Yeah.
I'm 5'5".
Just say that.
Screw
Yeah.
everybody.
That's right. Anyways,
So anyways,
we
yeah,
got way off topic,
I
but-
will pray for height and
You
other
think
things.
Suddenly at 42, that's
Yes.
gonna give you some.
I'm gonna have a 42-year-old growth spurt.
Would be amazing.
That'd be awesome. Seriously, if I could just be, I wish I was a little bit taller.
Taller.
I wish I was a
it was
baller. I
ball.
wish I had a girl
in
that
a
could.
potato.
I
I
would
would
call
call her.
her
I wish I was a rabbit in a hat and a something, something, something.
with a bat and a 6'4" Impala.
There we go. See, I knew a lot of that one.
You did know a lot of that one.
Did.
Boo.
All
right.
Okay, pray.
All right. I'm
I mean, I don't
praying.
mean
I'm
to
praying.
demand,
Take
like,
it
pray.
easy.
Pray now.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay, wait
I've
on
been
me.
Michelleing this whole episode. Just kidding.
That was the worst. The worst.
Okay, I promise that was the last time. Okay.
Okay,
Anyways,
bringing it down.
Lord, thank you so much for humor and comedy.
Yes.
It's such a gift.
It is.
Thank you for everything you do for us. And we pray that you would give people strength to be social again who don't feel like it. We know this isn't an issue for a lot of people. Some people just are naturally social people, but I know some people struggle with this, especially after loss. And I just pray that you would give them the confidence to go out and start speaking to people and to interact with the world again. I just thank you for all the blessings. I pray that you would, do like your word says and take care of the widows and the widowers. And I just thank you for this opportunity to speak to so many people. It's such a blessing and a gift. And you're just a good father, and that's who you are. And it's in Jesus' name we pray to you. Amen.
Amen. I thought we were gonna break out into song because that's actually a song.
It is. I know.
Love it. Well, thank you everybody for listening and hanging with us through our funny jokes.
Dorkiness.
Yes, all the stuff. Anyways, thanks for joining us. And if you like this episode, give us a little ping, 5 stars on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen. Helps us get the word out. You can find us on Instagram at widowtoosoon_. Also Facebook. A lot of people are joining us there. We'd love for you to join us. Just look up Widow Too Soon. And you can email us at widowtoosoonm@gmail.com. You can follow me on TikTok at Widow Goals, all the places. So again, thanks for joining us.
All over on TikTok.
All over on TikTok. All right. We'll see you later. Have a great week.
Bye. God bless you.